What you been up to?
Just had some lunch and checking out the board and seeing that things continue to go up.
Yeah.
A lot of these props. How are you? Watching baseball?
I get below early to the early NBA, the baseball slate, which is like all the games. Then I took a nap while watching the Twins, and Clint Kershaw is in the middle of a perfect game right now. Like, he's going off. Magnificent. But it's also a tough spot because my girlfriend is a Twins fan. So.
Yeah.
So, sleep on the couch if I cheer too loudly. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt he has like enough pitches to go deep, but he's looking good.
PrizePicks giving like a I'm sorry discount today?
It's not for today. It's Embiid, which is I think Saturday.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you could use it.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to sit around for, it's a $20 limit though.
Yeah.
Tissue paper to guys like Josh.
No, but I mean, I know it's Saturday, but I mean, it's still 3 squares, so you play 3 guys for today's slate. You know that's gonna come through.
Yeah, but man, yeah, you're gonna. And today's games are probably like the more fun ones. So
yeah, oh yeah. Today's awesome. Cause today's actually when I got home.
you love to see it. Here. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday, April 13th, 2020. It is day 2 of so it's the NBA postseason, but we better not call it the NBA playoffs, right, Josh? Because last night, and we see wild card games in baseball too. Last night, Patrick Beverley was like, "We're going to the playoffs." So it's something in between playoffs and regular season. So I don't know what to call it, but it is postseason. So I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you're playing off, right? Like, you're someone's going home. So I don't know. I consider it playoffs.
Playoffs. Yeah. How about Patrick Beverley last night? You would have thought. Let's
go.
You would have thought that my man won Game 7 of the NBA Finals with a broken ankle, bro. My man, and hey, happy. You love to see happiness, man. But if he did all that to win a play-in game, imagine if they run it all the way. Game 7 of the if he wins the finals, bro. He's gonna have they would have confetti, but. He's gonna have
it would be pants off for him, man.
He's just gonna go shrieking, bro.
Yeah, because the dude got up on the scoreboard like Kobe Bryant, man. Yeah, winning it, like just hyping up the crowd. Oh man, Pat Bev, you gotta love him, man. He was on a whole different level last night. I mean, we predicted that, but I did not see this level, man. He took it to different one.
We a lot of people shoo off narratives and stuff like that, But he didn't hide it when the game was over. He was extra spicy because it was the Clippers. When he got that, I don't know if you saw it, he got that poke away steal at the end of the game to ice it. He was not coincidentally in front of Steve Ballmer celebrating, all right? And then, I mean, he was pretty open in the post-game press conference. He went on, like, Instagram Live, and he was just like, you know, he hated the Clippers a little extra. So, hey, narratives are a real thing.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah, and he almost got Marcus Morris ejected for no reason.
I saw that ejected, and then they were like, "No, he's not ejected."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait, you can do that?"
They're like, "No, it's Pat Bev, man. Don't fall for his trap." And even Pat Bev did like a hand gesture point to his head, like, "Mind games, man, mind games."
Yeah, I mean, but from a basketball standpoint, I mean, it was very entertaining. Like, it was one of the.
It was a gritty game, right? It was exactly what we thought it was going to be. Like those two teams.
I basically watched, you know, every second of the second half. Baseball had kind of winded down a little bit, and I was glued. I was glued to my screen. A cat fouling out, and you were all over that. Fouling out.
So fouls in the first half, as usual.
And once that happened, I was like, man, this is bad, and it's gonna be D. Russ and Anthony Edwards. And D. Russ, he got hot. Some absolute clutch points from downtown, and they just fought, man. They were gritty through and through, so they became really fun to root for. And the crowd is different in these scenarios, man. It was palpable, it was thick, it came through the TV. And then by the end of the game, I was rooting for the T-Wolves, and you know, my girl's a Minnesota sports fan, so it helped. But but poor playoff P, man. Oh man.
How much do you think he has frustrated Reggie, man? Reggie just totally sold at the end there. And cost him the game. He played terrible. I mean, he ball hogged. He didn't look to pass. He took majority of the shots, and all of them were bricks.
Yes, but Reggie was very, very ineffective. But also, I mean, most of the possessions I watched at the end there, when Paul George was on the court, passed the ball to Paul, and Paul was, you know, taking over. It has to be number two, and if it's not Reggie, who? Norman Powell, maybe? There wasn't. Reggie was just like the easiest guy to point and laugh at, but he needed help. He needed help. He's the cat in that store. I'm gonna get you out of there. If only he had, I don't know, a guy like a Kawhi Leonard, something like that, you know, added into the mix here, maybe a little bit more competitive. Maybe they can protect leads a little bit, because if you thought that if Karl-Anthony Towns, and I was thinking about that, the T-Wolves were 3-point favorites when we were discussing the game. Do you think they would have been 3-point favorites if Cat was ruled out before the game? And I was like, I don't think so, right? And
he might as well not even have played that game.
Exactly.
I mean, he had like 6 points or something total.
It was bad. It was a tough one. But anyway, some more playoff basketball tonight, and we got a couple more fast-paced teams, and hopefully they'll bring some of that grittiness. But I don't think they will. You know, Patrick Beverley's a unicorn, right? There's only a couple of those guys that float around in the league, and they're pretty open, and you know, they take the L's when they L. But as far as for like the spunkiness, the fire, stuff like that, Patrick Beverley's definitely a unicorn. But from a fast-paced basketball standpoint, where defense is optional, we got two really, really fun games tonight that could get really, really crazy. So throughout this stream, we're going to be chopping up some of our favorite targets for PrizePicks in the prop betting world. And then, of course, if you guys did experience some of the outage yesterday on PrizePicks, they did offer kind of a little sorry about that with Joel Embiid's half a real point prop. That is not for tonight. So if you don't want to wait around for 3 days, maybe wait to use that. But it is a max bet of $20. So if you think you'll like tonight's slate more than Saturday, man, maybe hook it up with with some action tonight. Let me add the total for this Pelicans game in the spreadsheet: 224, 5.5. So, are you excited for tonight's more than last night or not?
Yeah.
I love the thought of playoff Trey, and then DeJounte Murray. I hope he's feeling better.
Oh man, he's our boy, man. We gotta ride him now tonight, ride or die, right? I know he's not healthy, but he's carried us all season, man. I'm gonna go down flames with him today, I think.
Shout out to the chat. Robert Bickerstaff says, I was glued to the court last night watching the Clippers and D1. What a footnote in that game, right? Oh man, imagine if what would you do? Like, what would they have to do if someone literally glued themselves to the court? Because my vote would be, hey, let's play around it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We out here. But anyway, hey, shout out to the live chat. Vincent Jefferson, Mia Moore, Mock Wall, blah. I don't know. Igor in the chat. Ja Toa, Paul Whitlock, Skimmer.
You are fucking kidding me. Oh my god.
That looks
3
like
home runs in a row.
Oof.
Oh
Oof.
my
The Dodgers
God.
just went back to back to back. That's
Still hitless.
The Twins are, yeah. I don't even know who that is. Oof. What up, Jason? What up, Neville? What up, Adam? Eric's in the chat. Alex in the chat. Kiefer in the chat. Man, I hope you guys are doing good today. Beverly was acting like he won the chip. Yeah, man. That game meant something a little extra for him. But
we talked about that yesterday. We said he's a different beast, man, in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Anyway, hey, this stream's brought to you by ODDSJAM.com. Shout out to them. Without them, this stream would not be happening. So, if you guys have not jumped on ODDSJAM, it's an incredible companion tool to hunt through the PrizePicks lobbies, several different methods to use them to your advantage. If you are just betting individual props out there, you can definitely use them to find the best value. If you're stuck in a state that doesn't have sports betting, but you can still play PrizePicks and prop-based sites like that, you can use them to kind of show you where the market's at on a line. So if a player has, I don't know, a 20-point total and there's minus 170 on the over or something like that, that probably means it's about to move to like 21, 22, something like that. So if PrizePicks is still at 20 or even at like 19.5, you could say, I'm probably getting a value on this number perceptually on the number being lighter than what the public has it at, and so on and so forth. So as we peruse through the PrizePicks lobby today, we'll probably bounce back and forth, kind of reference what the books are at on certain lines, and see if we are getting a lighter price in terms of that individual prop on PrizePicks here. So let's go ahead and get down to business. Let's talk about the first game tonight. It's the Charlotte Hornets at the Atlanta Hawks. We got 235.5 total, 5.5 point spread in favor of the home team Atlanta Hawks. Gordon Hayward listed as out, and for the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins, Lou Williams not going to play for this one. We talked about yesterday how when the playoffs get here, a lot of your starters, they're going to play up to 40 minutes and go from there. And I think Trae Young's already a guy that was playing 40 minutes in regular season, so I kind of like the thought of him. We've also discussed how first half props are going to be mostly irrelevant in this playoffs unless there's a couple of first half unicorns that we don't expect to get run in the second half. And throughout this season, one of those guys has been Clint Capello, where he is live to get benched in the fourth quarter because of his porous free throw shooting ability, and we'll see him close either small, go big, or go small with Gallo, or put in a Kongu or something like that out there. So maybe this is one of those rare chances we can get into a first half prop on a guy like Clint Capello. Overall, the Hornets, the Hawks, almost insert Spider-Man gif where they're pointing at each other. I mean, the metrics are they're so similar. Both offenses good, both defenses not so much. Atlanta finished the season with the second best offensive efficiency. Charlotte's up there as well, 114 points per 100 possessions. Defensively, Atlanta has been bottom 6, Charlotte's bottom 8. So this should be more offense than defense. There's going to be a lot to like. Should be high scoring. Let's start with the Hawks, huh?
Yeah.
Noma Garcia Pa. Anyway, Start with the Hawks here, and look at it from a full game standpoint. Trae Young is going to play 42 minutes. I'm putting it out there. Playoff Trae Young has a lot to like, and they did juice a lot of his props. If you got it earlier, you maybe got some better prices. But 31.5 points, 11.5 assists, 3.5 threes. 51 fantasy points, 8 free throws. These are some of the higher end numbers individually for every prop that we've seen all year. So they are adjusting. However, I still have hope in us being able to find something. Is there a Trae Young prop that you can get behind?
Yeah, we gotta get access to Trae today. The matchup, Hornets have been one of our favorite targets all season, man. I mean, fam, it's the Hornets, so we got to do it, right? We just got to pick the right one because there's two scenarios, and I talked about this in the early video if you guys watched it, and we've seen this all season with Trae. Scenario one is that he just commands the floor and he just dishes it and just carves the Hornets apart, which we've seen him do earlier this season against the Hornets with his passing, and I think he had like 15 assists or something crazy like that against Hornets one game, and his points were way down. And then two, he doesn't look to distribute as much, and he gets hot from three. And once he gets hot from three, he will not pass it, and he'll just look to score, and then draw a lot of fouls and get a lot of points from the free throw line. And then with that, I mean, you're gonna want to target his points. So, I mean, it's a coin toss for me because either scenario is gonna happen. Obviously, it's 50-50. I think, I mean, if you wanted to hedge your bets and just do the fantasy score and say, okay, maybe it's more of a balance and he, scores and dishes it out, just fills a stat line, then I can see the 51 fantasy points. We know he has that ceiling, especially at home in a playoff elimination game. 51, it's gone down. I think it was all the way up to 52. So I guess people are clicking under on it. But yeah, I mean, I really want the 11.5 assists because I want to pair it with like guys like Capella for their points. And then there's one low prop that he has that I might have to break my rule, or not rule, but something I don't usually do, but his rebound prop. I don't like usually taking rebounds for guards because it's so random and there's so much variance in how the ball bounces if it's a long rebound or not. But a lot of guys are going to go up in this game.
The Matrix.
He could get there with his rebounds. I mean, it's only 3.5. He averages about a little less than 4 in the season.
You're in the Matrix.
Really? So that's a whole bit. It's gone.
No, not the whole bit. No, the last couple minutes, but we got most of the goodness there. Just.
Okay, well, am I good now?
No. No. Maybe it'll fix itself here. But while you do that, I was pulling up the Trae Young games against the Hornets this season. 38 minutes, 35, 36, and 34 minutes, respectively. So, like I said, I think 40-plus minutes is a real range of outcome today. In those games, 9, 30, 25, 19 points. So he has not exceeded the prop that we are looking at today. Again, I'm expecting more minutes. Rebound-wise, he capped at 4 assists. There was a couple 15-assist games. There's a 4 and a 9, and then a couple peripherals and a couple turnovers. So I think I was with you with the kind of the shout out to the assist prop being one that I don't mind because of his assist rate being like 40%. So I do like if I was gonna pick one of those heavily juice lines, for me it's probably gonna be the assist line.
Yeah. Okay. What could you get on this rebound prop?
3.5.
So my thinking on this is when you have a fast-paced matchup and a lot of shots going up, and the Hornets are going to take a lot from 3. Mm-hmm. You're going to get, with a lot of 3-ball shots, you're going to get a lot of long rebounds, which Trae will come in and snag, which guards tend to get those long rebounds. But there's a lot of randomness to it. So.
There is. I don't mind. I mean, he's been getting about 3 and 4 a game, and if we're going to give him a couple extra minutes, maybe falls into one more. So yes, but I mean, would you want to list that as like a little bit more fringy, just to get some of the?
Yeah, because it's Trey. I mean, you want access to like his dominant skill sets, which are passing and scoring. So
All right,
yeah, so we need to rank order them. So if we rank order them, we want to go assists 1,
right,
and then points 2, and then fantasy 3.
the podium.
Fantasy 2.
I think fantasy 2.
Okay.
So let's do Trae Young assists, Trae Young fantasy. But I almost like the points more, or I mean the rebounds more than points. But I will rank them here, and then. But yeah, I think assist is the spot that I'm looking at. Do you think there's any correlation in him hitting 4 threes? If we're searching for 32 fantasy for 32 points, let me see what the world's at on Trae Young points right now. Because the Hornets, their run and gun method of play, it does seem to generate more opponent threes. The Hornets ended the season right behind the Bucks in terms of most points via the 3-ball allowed. And if we look at those games that Trae Young played against the Hornets, 0 for 6, 8 for 15, 4 for 10, 2 for 7. So maybe the 3-point prop is a little light. With that said, I'm expecting I know Hunter's somebody we can lean on for defense and even and toss up a shot or two. But if the Hornets got to a hot start and they have one of those leads, you might get the all scoring squad: Gallo at the 5, Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Kevin Huerter. So maybe I don't want to rely on Trae Young chucking 4 threes too much. So I'll just stick with the assist there. But just something to think about. All right,
that's a really sharp point. Yeah, because he has a lot of shooters around him, and if one of them gets hot, that's going to eat into his 3-point potential.
All right.
So we've seen this season. Trae has been pretty cold from the 3-point line this season. So
yeah, pretty erratic.
But it's the playoffs, so new game.
All right, so using ODDSJAM, shout out to ODDSJAM. I'm gonna look up two lines from the industry. That's gonna be the Trae Young points lines, which I thought it would be at the top, but it wasn't. So yay, or maybe they just don't have it here. Control F Trae Young. Here we go. There we go. So generally speaking, 30.5 to 31.5 is line that's pretty evenly split everywhere you look. So nothing impactful there. And then let's go look at what we're getting on Trae Young assists. So we will pull up player assist and Control F Trae. 11.5. Yes, pretty even line everywhere we look. So nothing too fancy, too special that PrizePicks is offering that has implied edge here. So I'll go ahead and rank the Trae Young assist fantasy points, then rebounds, and then we'll move on from Trae Young here. What else on the Hawks do we want to look at? I think this is a fun time to talk about Clint Capello.
Yeah. I mean, so his real points, it's been juiced. I think it opened at 11.5, and then it's went up to 12.5. Now it's at 13.5. What do you think about that? I mean, this is a prime spot for him. Trey's gonna lob it to him, feed him. I think he could still clear that in a full game. 13.5. What do you think?
13.5 rebounds.
Points. I mean, I guess that you want access to his rebounds too, so fantasy does make sense. But did you see his first half fantasy? His first half fantasy was 20 last time I looked.
No
and
shot.
His full game was 34, so it was a 6 points tax.
So yeah, and right now I got his full game was 35. So let's see if they still at 20. They still got him at 20. That's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Man, yeah, and that's definitely been one of our Honeywells all years is to grab. And the thing is, it's still live, right? 20 is still not.
It is.
But at that point,
yeah,
an extra
full game.
I'm thinking about it.
Because I mean, you still get 3 quarters with the full game,
right.
Even though if he doesn't touch the court in the fourth, or maybe he comes in and plays 3 minutes in the beginning of the fourth.
Let me go check out the rotations for the Hawks against the Hornets. I always feel like it is scoreboard influence, Meaning, if they're playing with a lead, you're
Right.
more likely to hack Capella
Yes.
versus if you're not. So we're looking for 316. What? 316 Hornets and Hawks. See what they close out minute wise. Capella did close that game out, and that was a game where the Hornets did protect the lead. Okongwu played 17 minutes, so that's a good sign. And then we'll look at January 23rd. We gotta go back a little bit further, so let's go to the 8th page. I'm feeling it. Yes.
I didn't mark his first half points though, because they didn't really juice that. I'd have it at 7. That was on my list.
Capella did get a little bit of a run in the fourth quarter. So at least the last 2 times that the Hawks have faced the Hornets, Capella did see fourth quarter run, and in both those games, Okongwu was active, and in one of those games, John Collins played. So maybe in the playoffs, Capella is more live here. I put 27 minutes on Capella. They gave me 36 fantasy points. So I mean, I do like the pace up spot here. I think the energy is going to be really good for elite rebounders and a guy like Capella who can also rack up the stocks and blocks. So that's why I'm leaning towards that full game fantasy, because if he had 2 blocks, 3 blocks, something like that, I wouldn't be stunned. And then those plus threes can add up pretty quickly. And then if we just imply him for a double double, which is what they're doing, 13 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, that's not far from 35 fantasy points if we throw in a couple blocks.
Right.
So I'm kind of leaning the full game here.
Okay, so let's mark that as number 1 for him.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I think we shouldn't overthink it.
Right.
It's the Hornets front court, and then number 2, I had it on the prop detector last night, but the first half 7 points for him. That's reasonable. They didn't juice it or tax it that much, so I think it's taxed by 1.
7. Okay, so we're looking for 4 buckets.
Yep.
I'm with it. All right. That might be yeah, okay. I'm with it. Clint Capella first half points. And then they have 14.5 PRA, which I guess I don't know.
Oh, for the first half?
I forgot they added first half PRA.
Yeah,
but,
how much is that juice? Is it
so 14.5?
2? Yeah.
So Capella's full game PRA is 27.5. So that's 1, right?
You said 4? Did you say 14.5?
Oh yeah, 14.5. So that's 20.
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
so
2.5.
okay. Math. You're the scientist, not me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you do want access to his rebounds, man. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I just hate leaving the blocks on the table, but I guess I shouldn't oversweat it. 1.3 blocks per game. I don't know why do I feel like he's a 3-block guy, but okay. All right, so I wrote down Capella fantasy, Capella first half real points. Mm-hmm. The PR is intriguing, but at that point,
PRA. Yeah.
Okay. PRA. All right, and now let's dig around to the supplementary, tertiary guys. The Bogdanoviches, the Kevin Herters, guys like that, can be a little harder to call. Gallinari's also in the mix, and Gallinari has been a little bit lighter on minutes later, but I think, like we said yesterday, some of these veterans, they're going to get juiced up and jazzed up, and Gallo could be one of those guys. And how about 2 assists on Gallo? It's on the season, Gallo averaged 1.5 assists, but I don't know, maybe we do a couple of things here. So first of all, I have Gallo at 29 minutes. Secondly, let me go look at my projections for Gallo. Oh, you know what? I didn't add him into the prop sheet. Let me do that on my second screen here. But just generally, what are you thinking about Gallo's propensity to break that 2 assist prop? Because there was a while we were tagging that 3 assists.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if guys like Herter and Trey are hot, especially Trey. If Trey goes nuclear and not missing, I'm sure Gallo's gonna keep looking to feed him, and even probably feeding Capella too. So Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still find it risky.
Do you?
I do.
All right. All right, so I'll say this. I don't think we're going to have warmer fuzzies on any of these backup, like, I don't want to say backups, but the supplementary guys. Past Trae Young, we kind of had this feeling with Paul George yesterday. Past Paul George, there's a wide range of outcomes. Bogdanovich gets hot. Kevin Huerter gets hot. Gallinari gets hot. Guys like that. Do you have at least a hierarchy of who you're more likely to, or are you just kind of avoiding it because you don't have to force it?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, the one prop I was looking for that are in the books and not on PrizePicks is I was looking for DeAndre Hunter's rebound prop,
Okay.
and they don't have it on PrizePicks, which is unfortunate because the books have him at 3.5, and people are smashing over on that for good reason. It's a really good rebound spot for him. So yeah, I don't. All the other ones just seem real tertiary to me, and random. Like, is Herter gonna get 3 assists? Is Gallo gonna get 3 assists? It's just gonna depend on the play, how a play breaks down, who's open at the time. So you're rolling the dice on that. It's not really much of a process, a thought process behind it, but you're hoping that variance lands your way with those more so than ever. But Bogdan, Bogdan he's interesting. I wish they had an assist prop for him. I would be more inclined to click on assist for him. But they do have a fantasy score for him at 30. If Trey's struggling with his shot, what they tend to do is look to him and Gallo to score. And Bogdan especially to pick up being the shot creator and bucket getter. So 30 fantasy points is intriguing, but you're hoping from a game script, where Trey's struggling a bit and looking to Bogdan to score. So
Yeah.
what do you want to project it for?
So that, and I was just gonna say, a lot of times my projections are a little bit more aggressive than the lines that they offer because it is kind of coded for tournament ceiling and DFS. I'm not getting a big gap on those guys. I have Bogdanovich at 32. They had him at 30.
Yeah.
So
spot on.
Usually you're seeing 4 and 5 from like the leans. We're not getting that here. So that all these secondary guys. So I guess if you wanted to make like extra intense correlated cards on what if Trae Young does this, then who boosts? Yeah, I think Bogdan is likely to be the next man up in terms of scoring. And then, like I said, I think there could be a lot of overlap between them tonight. And especially if the Hornets kind of punch them in the mouth early. Right now, the Hawks projected to win. They're 5.5-point favorites, but we know in playoffs and when teams go on runs, it just happens, and that's what we saw several times last night. Teams just go on 10-2, 12-2, 22-4, 6 runs, and the Hornets have been kind of like that team all year long, where they can come out firing here. So I do think Bogdan's intriguing for being maybe number 2 on the team in real points, but I don't think we're getting like a super discount on any of these lines. But all these would probably ultimately correlate well with our 11.5 assist prop for Trey. But like you said, I like the lob thought process of putting him with Capella, especially the first half points, right? Because a lot of those, Capella's going to have to be fed. He doesn't make his own shot. He doesn't have a fadeaway, nothing like that. I don't even know if he has a hook shot. He just dunks, right? So,
he's effective early on in the first quarter scoring too. I noticed that. You'll see turn the game on and Trey has like 5 or 6 assists already in the first quarter.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll tread cautiously on the rest of the Hawks here. Let's divert our attention to the Charlotte side of the basketball.
Yeah.
We've got LaMelo Ball, who really finished the season strong. Wouldn't you say? He looked a little bit more confident. He was staying out of foul trouble, and he looked like a true floor general there. And there was a point where the Hornets got to a rotation where, right? And especially for that little stint that Hayward came back, Isaiah Thomas was getting minutes. But then we saw, 6th man of the year, Kelly Oubre start to get reduced to like 15 minutes. So do you think the Hornets could tighten things up, or are we expecting a Clippers situation? If we got 40 minutes of LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, it wouldn't stun me. I don't know that I'll ever get to a point where I'm expecting super deep minutes on Mason Plumlee, and kind of like how we would expect more Bogdanovich or somebody like that if the Hawks need some points. You'd probably expect more Montrezl Harrell for the Hornets if the Hornets need some points, right? So Mason Plumlee is just like a warm and fuzzy click here.
He's not?
He's not, right? Okay.
No.
I heard it too. I was like, wait, did I say not? Wait, let me fix that. So
you're pulling fast one on me, man. No, he's never fun, man. He's like Zubac, like I talked about yesterday, and Zubac let people down with his points. Yeah, 5.5 points. It's gonna be tempting, but yeah, I mean he could lose minutes, like you said, just depending on the game script. Where if they need buckets, they're gonna have guys like PJ Washington maybe at the 5, or having Harold Montrez out there. So I don't feel super confident on him, but it's a good matchup. 5.5 points, I get it. Yeah. What are you thinking on him?
For who?
Plumlee.
I mean, I put down 18 minutes. If he bled a little longer, wouldn't surprise me. And I feel I do feel like if I had to tilt the seesaw, which center gets more minutes, I think it's Montrezl Harrell, and that's just checkboxing how Vegas has Hawks as your favorite here. And Montrezl Harrell, while you're giving up your defense, but at this point, what defense in this game, right? So Montrezl Harrell is way more likely to get you some buckets and maybe fight back in with his high energy style of play here. So I don't have the warm fuzzies on Plumlee. I don't feel it in my plums, Lee.
Understandably. So what LaMelo props do you like the most? Do we rank order them?
Yeah, so let's see what the board has for LaMelo. They're giving us 45 fantasy points. I'm looking at 49 to almost 50 fantasy points on a 34-minute projection. Do you think there's a route for more than 34 minutes for LaMelo Ball today in a playoff-like game, yes. 38, 39, 40? If so, my projection is going to increase for Melo. So I think the fantasy point is a great starting point. I think
I totally agree. And he's been racking up the steals, man. He's been climbing the steal per game ladder board.
All right, so I'll put LaMelo fantasy points on the list.
I think he could get close to. I think he'll get push 40 plus minutes. I mean, this is win or go home. The season's over if you lose it. So it's just can he stay out of foul trouble? He's what, top 5 right there with Cat. Scary, man. It's scary.
Is he?
I think he is, right?
In fouls per 36, let me double check. Most fouls per 36 this season. I definitely think he's up there. Let's see. LaMelo, yeah, he is. He's behind Herbert Jones, J Val, Cat, Triple J, Jason Tate. So yeah, he's top 7 in the league, I guess. And yeah, I guess that would be a problem, especially going against some of those high usage guards, Trey, and then even if he get into Bogdan. So
he draws those fouls, man. He's been living at the free throw line this year. So keep that in the back of your mind. It's always a risk.
All right. If we start speculating on who else might see more than season average minutes tonight, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges. We saw a stretch in this season where Miles Bridges was 40 minutes a game in regular season play. I was basically tailing some of the aggregate numbers for the last 5-10 games of the season. I jotted him down for 31, but that's because I'm trying to be responsible and not over project. But he's another guy, I think, if I came back later and I had 35, 36, 37, I wouldn't be surprised. And then Terry Rozier, I think, is the other guard that's likely to play a lot of minutes and represent a lot of scoring in this situation. Is there a Terry Rozier line that you thought about chasing? They have him at 5 assists, 20.5 points, 3 3-pointers made, and right now I think that's push-worthy. So you kind of maybe take the floor and hope for a spike to boost them over for that fourth shot. And then 35.5 fantasy points. I also had him right there on the nose at 35.5. I'm like, I want to over project. I do. But what line on Terry Rozier is worth sweating to you? Is it the threes?
I mean, it's a great spot. The Hawks give up some of like top 5 most threes against guards, so I get it. But you know, if he could get cold, or he could be cold from 3. So if you want to increase your odds, then maybe going with his fantasy because he can rack up steals, and you know, get assists as well as scoring. So maybe if I had to pick one, maybe I'm leaning fantasy. It still hasn't gone up that much. I think it opened at 35, and it's just gone up to 35.5. What do you think?
I think I wish I didn't look up his last 5 against him.
Oh my gosh, we got another.
Yeah,
Cat
remember at the end? Cat. I was like, I wish I didn't look up Cat. He's exceeded 30 fantasy points against him in the last 5 games, but he exceeded 35 just twice. So, and then while we're looking for some of the more linear stats to attack, not great. There's a couple. There's a pair of four bombs on 3 balls, but yeah. This is tough, but like I said, I think those could be a little bit more diluted minute rotations. I think today we could really narrow in on a couple of key guys to extend, right? Like if we lose minutes for Jalen McDaniels and Cody Morton, guys like that, I think that's not a crazy range of outcome. What I don't want to see to happen here, maybe I do want to see it. You know, Rajon Rondo got minutes out of nowhere. Yes, not out of nowhere, but Bickerstaff thought putting his veteran guard in there in the playoffs was the right move. Maybe didn't get the results that he thought it would. Is there any scenario where Isaiah Thomas is the answer for Charlotte for them to put it? You know what I mean? Like, is there a
like Rondo last night?
That's exactly like they're not gonna do that, right?
I mean, I guess okay, maybe if Rozier's just ice cold, right? I guess they would have to do that.
Or if Melo gets in foul trouble.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Let's get caught up on chat
I think
here.
I think we're speaking things into existence now.
Like this should be the game, right? Like, or I guess both these games are looking to, but here we are trying to find something to key in on, and it doesn't.
I think LaMelo just lock and load, man.
I'm with that. Yes, I like LaMelo. I'm pretty happy to sweat Trae Young fantasy points because I know he's going to play so many minutes. Yes. But then I'm not. I don't hate the Capella, right? So I guess so. Maybe it just feels like I'm trying to make more picks happen. But yeah, let's get caught up on chat here before we move on to the next one. So many of you guys out there, man. 130 plus of you. Shout out to you guys. Nice. But 27 likes though. Hold up. What? You guys can do better. Come on. If we get to, let's shoot for the stars, Josh. If we get to 70, you think 70? If we get to 7, basically I'm asking for about half of the viewers to hit the like button. If we get to 70, we'll post the prop detector in the free Discord, the free one.
And the prop detector currently has a lot of green on it right now, so hopefully it stays hot.
Oh, is it okay? So from like last night,
yeah. I just kept it because what I did is I have an ongoing list, including games from this weekend too. Yeah. So just ongoing.
So hit that like button. Make sure you're in the free Discord. Link to that's in the description below, and then Josh will post the stuff he's tailing. And Josh, can I share your screenshots from yesterday? For some reason, Josh doesn't like to show when he wins. Literally, I was like, dude, you should show. People want to know that they are listening to somebody that, one, puts his money where his mouth is, and two.
Yeah, but I want to see other people's winning. That's
no, I get that, but I'm going to validate. So here's a couple of screenshots from Josh last night. $1,000. Paul George, Bruce Brown, Zubac pushed the Reggie assist. Not bad. $1,000. Nice little come up. Another 500. Another 1K. Like this, and this ain't new to him. This is like freaking every day now. Josh is out here. Just killing it. So just know
power play life, man.
power play 100. I guess. So yeah. Anyway, hit that like button. Jump in that free Discord. What do we do with these tertiary Hornets? I was getting caught up on chat to see if the chat has some favorite calls from this game. Isaiah Robinson says Trey's the best play on the slate. Matthew W. for what Isaiah, yeah, right? Michael Tyler is 2 games. Yep, just go to his rebound. Quinn says he likes Gallows props. Okay. Is that a free site that shows player rotations? Yeah, Jeff. I think there's a link in the description below for add more funds, but it is it's just like, a popcorn machine, stuff like that. I use add more funds because they have a cool on-off court tool, NBA Wowie, stuff like that, right? Plumlee over 3 points first half, says exit screaming. Eric, our buddy, says Plumlee has cleared 5.5 all year versus Atlanta. Just saying, hate that dude though. So, does Mason Plumlee get 2 buckets in the first half?
We always talk about that. We always end up at this prop. I don't know.
I mean, it's something light to sweat. He's done it in 4 of the last 5.
Yeah.
I guess we could.
I don't like that stat.
I don't either. I don't know why I said it.
I get it. Because you don't have anything else to go off of with him because it's so random, man. A lot of it's just random offensive putbacks.
He's only played the Hornets. Whoa, wait. Oh no, I'm dumb. I put versus Hornets instead of Hawks.
Plays himself.
Yeah. Congratulations, you played yourself. He had like 800 brothers in the league, didn't he? 12, 6, 7, 10, and 10. So I guess we could say he so his full game is 5.5.
But did all those games have Harrell?
At least I want to say at least the most recent did, and then I'll double check the other ones. Charlotte. Montrezl Harrell played 20 minutes in the last game.
Time too during that.
In this most recent one, PJ played 26 minutes. Harrell, Plumlee got himself 22 minutes. In the time before that, Plumlee started alongside Cody Martin. PJ came off the bench for 31 minutes, and then it got weird. So it's a light enough number where if we're just saying, hey, this is gonna be a fast-paced track meet shootout, can the center get a couple of scraps here, get literally 2 buckets? I hate the thought of that. I put it on the fringe. We'll put it on the fringe.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go back and watch those games this season. I want to see how he's getting the bucket. If it's a design play and there's a purpose behind it, then I can get behind it. But if it's random, fringe.
Okay, that's fair. Also, Josh does that, guys. He watches game film.
Yeah, well, for guys, if I want to see how they're getting a bucket or rebound or assist, you go to the league pass and you can click on each play.
Yeah, I know, but like you're insane for doing that. It's like I edited. I'm the editor, guys. Josh sends me the first look videos, and I'd be like, it'd be like 8 o'clock at night. I'd be like, yo, Josh, you working on your video? He was like, yeah, I'm working on it right now. I don't get it till 7 in the morning because he was watching film for a little. And we end up with a 9-minute video, but he has to justify everything he's saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought and hours behind those videos. It's not just me clicking on a game log and saying, guys, I like this because it's 5 out of 5 times he's hit it. Like, there's a lot of thought process behind it. And yesterday it was really rewarding to see all that I spent. I mean, yesterday was probably the most I spent on an early league video, amount of hours and time spent. And it was worth it, man, because the process it finally came through. We didn't have to worry about some random stuff happening like you get in the regular season. So I think if we do the same thing with these playoff games, the process can be trusted, I feel like, for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's fair enough. What else do we need to talk on the Hornets before we get to the Spurs game? Anything?
So Bridges, I mean, do you think it's just a coin toss between him and Rozier? So hard to predict between them.
Yeah.
And with that said, I mean, do you just then fade?
So I don't know if it's I'll say in fantasy, my plan was to like at most two of these three, meaning that LaMelo, Rozier, and Bridges, they're all averaging 20 points a game. Well, are they all going to have spike games tonight and clear their point props? No, but could two of them do it? Yeah, we saw it yesterday. Anthony Edwards and D-Russ did it. Obviously, Cat had some extenuating circumstances, but that's how I approach it. So if you were trying to make a ridiculous amount of cards tonight, maybe you would correlate it that way, where you don't expect all three of these guys to drop 25 points. But yes, coin flip is probably the more appropriate way for me to view and talk about how I'm approaching the Hornets and past LaMelo.
Okay, so maybe if you're building multiple cards, you have one card with Rozier and a different card with Bridges to kind of cover it all.
Yes, just correlate it, and that's a tough thing to some people to learn, right? Is how to correlate these cards to where when you fire it away that both are probably not going to win. But I'm trying to explain that process for baseball because baseball props are so much different. Mm-hmm. But that's if you had to. If I was just like, hey, I'm balling on a budget, I'm not trying to have 10 where I know only 50% of them probably have a shot at cashing. But yes, if I was a board guy that over researched a 2-game slate and watched 50 hours of game film and was gonna fire away 30 cards, yes I would. Hey, Taylor Bay, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. All right, let's talk about.
Okay. For LaMelo, I was just gonna say we talked fantasy number 1, but then would you say assist number 2? Because that assist rate's it's pushing close to 40% for the month of March.
Yeah, he's going to be involved. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll pull up his official assist rate since the All-Star break just to see if there's any chance for it to be a little spiky lately. I'll take Hayward off the court. But since the All-Star break, LaMelo Ball, while he's on the court, and this is not putting other guys on, has a 34% assist rate, and then no one else on the team is above 20. Montrezl Harrell at a weird 18%. Rozier's at 18, Miles Bridges 16. So yeah, LaMelo Ball has definitely been a heavy facilitator guy. And then looking at the team metrics chart, where's this team on the overall assist rate? Charlotte is number 2, so they're gonna pass the ball quite a bit. And that just kind of, if you're gonna put together a couple fantasy point props from the same team, it correlates well because for them to be number 2 in assist rate, and as you see, a lot of 18% assist, they're going to pass the ball each other, and you might get double points based on what happens. So maybe something to think about for those secondary guys. But yes, I'll put LaMelo Ball number 2 as assist. And that's all I got to say about that. You ready to talk some Spurs?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Mr. Nike, how do I join the premium Discord? Do you all post your props so we can tail into premium? I mean, yes. But today, if we get to 70 likes, we'll post it for free in the free Discord. But a lot of the numbers you're seeing is powered by the tools that I created at RunDFS.com. So this is, while we do serve the prop world. Understand that this is really based on my full-time job as a DFS player, and it's easy to transition to because I do have this prop sheet with individual prop projectors, stuff like that, and this is where the prop detector lives. But yes, we do have that. But I've learned that a lot of you guys on these prop shows don't play DFS or never have, and we've had some interesting characters roll up on us. That are just like randomly playing prop bets. So yes, we do have a premium stuff at Run DFS. Another thing we have at Run DFS is the daily voice chats. I'll be in there. Josh will be in there. Today will be kind of split even, Josh. I know yesterday we were really, really heavy on the baseball chatter. Well, the main slate, the night slate for baseball was pretty big. Today, not so much. I think there's only 3 games on the. I think one got postponed, and so with 2 basketball games, it'd be pretty even Stevens. So we will probably still be in the baseball voice chat, but we'll be talking all the sports. So don't be afraid to ask questions on any sport. But yeah, all that's behind the paywall at rundfs.com. But join the free Discord because we've been doing a lot of free nuggets there, and you guys are going crazy with the prop talks, man. It literally makes me proud when I'm sitting on the couch and I'm just. Man, these guys going at it. I love it.
It was fun last night. I hung out with those guys in the free Discord, and yeah, everyone was sweating the games, and especially with these fun playoff games, man. Yeah, it's a good time. Definitely join up.
Good time. Okay, have a good time. We're gonna have a good time watching San Antonio play New Orleans. As I lower my voice deeper and deeper to hype up the fact that this game. All right. 224.5 is our total here. 5.5 point spread in favor of the Pelicans. Let's get the official word on. I imagine Ingram's going to be good to go, right? But when I loaded up the rosters here, I had a Q tag on Ingram listed as probable with a hamstring. All right, so Ingram should be ready to go. And then DeJounte Murray missed a big stretch in the final couple games of the season. And that was not rest. Like, they needed to win those games, and they would have definitely opted to use him if they could. He was ill, right? Like, he had a real sickness. And listening to your video, did you say he lost 7-8 pounds?
Yeah, he did. He tweeted it himself and announced that he lost all that weight. Yeah.
Man. So hopefully he's good now. Because he's definitely, he's one of my favorite players, one of your favorite players, and also just for fantasy, he's a friggin' monster.
Yeah, he's your spirit animal, right?
It's my spirit animal, man. It's been that way. I love
we
grabbing.
We gotta ride him, man. I don't care if he's sick or has one leg. We gotta ride him. It's the end.
And a flu game, sure. One-legged game, maybe I stay away from DeJounte.
He's a freak. What do they call him? The pterodactyl in our group. No, he did say yesterday. He said this is what it's all about, man. This is why he plays for these games. He lives for it. So he said they don't want to go home, and he's gonna do everything he can to make sure they don't. So I think he's all in, and I'm all in on him. So
let's go, DeJounte. All right. Well, usually when it comes to getting some action on DeJounte, it's always fantasy points because he's a triple-double threat that averages 2+ steals per game. I have him for 54.5 fantasy points right now. PrizePicks.com has him at 50. They're like, you know what? You want this 50? You're going to have to go get it. But, hey, man, maybe it's a little bit more narrative-based than not, but we love some DeJounte here. So do we want to start with DeJounte fantasy points as the first thing that we jot down?
Yes, but I think there's something very important we need to discuss first. So we got not on herb, right? You got the.
What did you just say?
Not on herb.
Not on herb.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Is that a sentence?
It's a nickname for Herbert Jones.
Not on herb.
Yeah, they make shirts apparently, and they wear them.
Okay. So, you gonna score? Not on herb. You ain't. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought it's also. I was thinking.
Weed.
Yeah, weed.
I think that's the. It's like a It's a pun on that. Play on words with that. So, but it's a real thing in the league with him. And if you read articles and
Bing
what other
bong.
players say about him.
1
sec.
Jordan won't play Isaiah cause he hates that role.
Jordan won't play Isaiah because he hates Detroit.
He's not related.
That's not Isaiah Thomas Jr., right? I mean, what up, Abel? I appreciate that too.
It's the same name, I guess.
I guess so, and I took that personally. Maybe Isaiah Thomas II should be an all-star on the dream team. I don't know. Appreciate that $2 Abel, man. That's love. Anyway, not on herb.
Yeah. So all the players around the league say he is hands down the best defender in the league right now, which is crazy because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell said he's gone on the record saying he's like the real deal and he really likes him. If you look at his advanced stats, like his matchups with individual players, the amount of minutes when he's like actually on them on ball defending, he is stopping some of the best guys scorers in the league, like Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell. He's a 7-foot wingspan, and
Jeez.
he can cover ground, and he's only second to Desmond Bane in his ability to get off screen. So his off-ball defending is phenomenal too. They did say that they are gonna do everything they can to stop DeJounte today, and so you're gonna see him on following and shadowing DeJounte all game long and giving him problems, man. Which sucks because I do want to lock and load DeJounte, but you just gotta think about that. I mean, Herb Jones he's the real deal. He's one of the elite perimeter defenders, on ball defenders too.
So what you're saying is assists?
That's kind of where I was going. So I went back and watched the games, a couple of games from the season. They're different though because Ingram wasn't in one of them, or a couple of them I think. And yeah, so a lot of the times what ended up happening is DeJounte was being covered by McCollum when Ingram wasn't playing that game. But then DeJounte started scoring when he got switched to Devontae Graham. But now Graham was in because Ingram was out. But now that Ingram will play, I think what's going to happen is, he's going to get switched on to McCollum a lot, and then he's just going to see a lot of Herb Jones, which is scary. So yeah, I'm thinking a assist. And what about his rebounds? So he's averaging almost 10 rebounds against the Pelicans this year. 7.5 seems really low for him. He's going to be super aggressive. But if his stamina is what affected or not normal, that could affect your rebounding and your overall aggressiveness. So that would be more like a secondary, but it makes sense. It's a pretty low prop for him.
Quinn with the sub. I appreciate that, Quinn. Welcome to the channel. We got a lot of Quins and Quans. Rich homie Quinn. Yeah. All right, so hey, good defenders do what? They foul, right?
They do. Yes, I was going to talk about that. Yes, yeah, it's a great point. So, and J-Val fouls a lot too, right? Both him and Herb Jones.
Are we about to be on some free throws? J-Val and Herbert Jones are 3rd and 4th in the NBA in fouls per 36.
Yeah. It's a sharp call. I was thinking the same thing, man.
We got a free throw prop at 4 for DeJounte.
As long as he's got to be aggressive, man. He's got to attack the basket.
Okay, so
I do like it.
So let's start ranking our DeJounte props then. Do we still want fantasy at the top, or are you sweating not on Herb?
I think you still can do it. I think he could not reach his point potential and still clear his fantasy just because he's like a Westbrook where he's gonna fill the stat line and get the stocks, and he leads the league in steals per game. So I still do like it.
Okay.
So even with the stamina and the Herb Jones factors.
Hey, Gerardo Lopez with the sub. I appreciate that, buddy. Welcome to the channel.
That for number 1?
Fantasy 1. I'm privy to this free throw number at 4. That's pretty light.
Yep.
And then rebounds?
Rebound or assist, which... So okay, with the assist, what you're relying on with that is you're basically saying... Vassell and Kelton Johnson, you better hit your threes, man. Because what DeJounte will do is he'll drive in and he'll kick it out to those guys for that 3 ball, and then obviously you're gonna have Pirtle on the pick and roll action.
All right,
So basically, can we trust Kelton today? And
I think I'll rank rebounds above assist.
Okay.
Devin Vassell and
Lonnie Walker.
Yeah, what do you got as the starting lineup? So I have McDermott still out. Do we expect Josh Primo, Devin Vassell, Kelton Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, or does Trey Jones kind of earn?
Oh, wait. No. I think Jay Rich starts.
Okay.
And the reason is I watched the game film. He was like the ultimate shadow. They said you're gonna stop McCollum. You're going to follow him everywhere. And he did. He followed McCollum the entire game. Every time McCollum was out there, he was out there following him. I think... So if he doesn't start, I think he plays huge minutes today just for his defense. He did really, really good on McCollum when he was on him.
And, yeah, we've seen Pop definitely sell out for shadow defense. I mean, that's what put Kawhi
Yes.
on the board, right?
Yes.
Okay,
100%.
that's fair. Now, was that game a game that Ingram played with McCollum?
That was with Ingram out.
Okay. So maybe in this, so I wonder if they still sell out for shadow defense. But okay, so only reason I wanted to know or ask that is because I didn't know for sure who to put in like the second guard on the starting lineup, and if
Yeah, I can go back and check the game where Ingram did play, because I just watched the most recent one, the March 26th one. I watched the entire thing, and like I said, yeah, Jay Rich was on the entire game.
Okay, so I'll probably raise his minute projection later.
His props would be very interesting if we get him. You know, we tend to get secondary bench guys, towards the end of the day, right before lock. So I
Yeah.
would look out for him because he was very active on defense. So I'd be interested in his fantasy. Oh wait, we do have props for him.
For Jay Rich, yeah.
Yeah.
9.5 points, 1.5 threes, 13.5 PRA.
That 9.5 points is intriguing, very intriguing.
Okay. And then Lonnie Walker.
I
at
think he's
1.5
gonna
threes.
get a lot of run today, man. I do.
All right. We'll see if they pop up in fantasy points too, because if he's out there to play some defense, maybe we want those plus threes.
He was getting steals that game, 100%.
I have Jakob Poeltl projected for 32 minutes. That's giving me almost 40 fantasy points. PrizePicks is giving us 31 fantasy points as their line. Does Jock Landale and Zach Collins in the playoffs scare you away? I kind of pushed Landale out of the rotation to just kind of isolate or just maybe split it down between Jakob Poeltl and Zach Collins. Do you disagree with that? I just think, like we said, these teams are more likely to tighten rotations in the playoffs than to keep it loose. And I think Jakob Poeltl can be anchored with DeJounte Murray. We talked about their pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
If you agree with the minute projection, and even then, you know, we could get more minutes if he's out of foul trouble, and if we buy into teams just giving their starters more run. Is 31 fantasy points a little on the light side for you?
It is, and I think his real points is on the light side.
Okay, so we'll add Jakob Poeltl.
Because he was sitting around 14 to 15 all season long, and he's down to 12 and a half. It's low.
Real points. Yeah, and J-Val will foul, right? We just mentioned him and Herbert Jones. They're behind just Cat, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Jayshawn Tate, and fouls for 36. You saw Cat foul out yesterday. 2K Cheesy, yo, y'all are crushing it with the subs today. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. All right, so we'll put some Jakob Poeltl.
What about his rebounds?
8.5 boards. He averages 9 on the season. This the pace. Obviously, the Pelicans ran at a little bit lower pace here, but the Spurs will push the pace. So I like the shot. I like the thought of that. Let's do something here. Jakob Poeltl rebounds by game log with 30 minutes. I don't know, last 30 games. I think it's the minute. There's a bunch of, oh my god, yeah. There's a bunch of volatility in his minutes lately because we had been seeing Jock Landale and Zach Collins and stuff like that. So what I queried on StatMuse was Jakob Poeltl rebounds by game log with 30 minutes as the threshold in the last 30 games, and the magic number we're looking for is for him to be 8.5. So we're looking for 9 or better, and he's done that in all but 3 of the games listed here. So you know that's his rebound rate's pretty well, and obviously if we put a percentage on that, it's probably going to be close to 20%. But I'll query that on Add More Funds, and I also want to put DeJounte on the court with him because it's DeJounte and Poeltl's pick and roll, right? That's his partner. Yeah,
that's his partner. And yeah, I think he gets more run than normal today, because you know Pop has come out and said that he likes Poeltl's defense, even though it's not, in my opinion, not great. And they're gonna need him for J-Val. Like, Collins is not a good matchup for, like, he'll get destroyed by J-Val's big body.
So I put Murray and Jakob Poeltl on the court. I didn't tweak anything else. Poeltl has a 18.6% defensive rebound rate, a true rebound rate of total, not true. Rebound rate of 15.4%, and that's obviously leading the team. You expect that from your center. So yeah, I could get behind that. Another one, Justin Weaver with the sub, man. Welcome to the channel, bro. We're y'all are going crazy with the subs, man. I appreciate that. I really do. So, Pirtle Fantasy, Pirtle points in the mix.
Yeah. I mean, I guess with centers, it makes sense if you're going to choose. If you're going to rank order it, it makes sense to go with fantasy for centers because they just fill the stat line so much. And he's going to get the boards too. So, you want to rank fantasy number 1 and then real points too?
That's what I had. And then, rebounds is live as well. So, we'll go Jakob rebounds. So for Spurs, DeJounte, Jakob are the core focus here. And then if they give us like a Josh Richardson fantasy, we can maybe act on your hunch that it's going to get some run. They gave us some soft lines now.
1.5 threes too.
Okay.
It's more French though.
You want to talk some Pelicans?
So let me make sure we didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelton Johnson, he's always live for his 3-point, and he was really effective in series in this season. I mean, his stuff is really juiced for him in my opinion. The PRA I kind of get, but I think I would go for lower hanging fruit like Jay Rich if you're going to go secondary guys outside of Pirtle and DeJounte. So, yeah, we can go to the Pelicans.
What? Let's see. Do you have a read on Devin Vassell? Because I feel like real points. Honestly, real points is curious with me, especially if we're going to put a bulldog on DeJounte. 13.5 points for Devin Vassell. I don't know, man. I don't know why I'm just kind of thinking that we should be exploring the over. I put DeJounte, Jakob Poeltl, Devin Vassell on. I took off Jakob Poeltl since the All-Star break. Devin Vassell will over 40% of his shots are from 3. Same for DeJounte. Jared just I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Devin Vassell something just because I think he could be 2 or 3 in scoring. I guess that's something we could say about many people. But right now I'm getting man. All right. Maybe I'll think about that a little bit more off the air. Maybe when that lineup comes out.
Yeah. I'd say we wait for the lineup to make a decision on those guys, secondary guys.
Okay. All right, let's move over to the Pelican side here. Ingram's going to play with the hammy.
Yeah.
So we should expect McCollum, Ingram, not on Herb, Jackson Hayes, J-Val. And it's another one of those rotations that, my goodness, Matt Butler, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. There's another one of those rotations that maybe tighten up in the playoffs, but also maybe you see some of those pieces that were kind of reserved, like Larry Nance, somebody like that. So I think McCollum, Ingram, J-Val, those are your vets that you probably want to get out there as deep as they can. Herbert Jones, if he can stay out of foul trouble, that's your shadow defense. That's your Chris Harris Jr. cornerback on a DeJounte or something like that. And then I think where it gets a little bit volatile is Jackson Hayes' spot, right? We can see Jackson Hayes for a big stint, Larry Nance, maybe some Hernan Gomez if things got a little bit weird, and then kind of go from there. So, McCollum, Ingram, J-Val, let's start with those 3. And let's start with McCollum. You mentioned Jay Rich was somebody that actually did pretty decent at guarding McCollum. But Ingram does create a little bit of variables for this scenario. Is there anything that was standing out about McCollum just off the rip and thinking to how we approach McCollum and Ingram games for the final stretch of the DFS season? They kind of vultured each other, especially Ingram. Sometimes you pass the ball to Ingram, you ain't getting it back.
Yeah, black hole. In the Discord group, we call him, the usage black hole, man.
So I'll run a query, but talk to me about McCollum and just kind of where your head's at.
It's hard with these two, man. It's it's not to the same degree with KD and Kyrie, but it's it's the same kind of concept where if one of them gets hot, they're gonna get the ball more so and get fed and score more. So you're just kind of just rolling the dice to say, okay, who's gonna get hot? because they switch off, like you said, with ball handling and passing duties. But I would say that Ingram is naturally a better passer and playmaker. So his assists.
Would you be surprised if he had a 31% assist rate since the All-Star break while on the court with McCollum and J-Val?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, he's shown that in the past too. I mean, he's a really good playmaker and distributor. But I want to click on his assists for that reason. However, it's Ingram, and the guy is a bog, and he will chuck it. So if he gets hot, he's not going to pass it. And he did say, I want to mention, if anyone's worried about his hamstring, take this with however you want with a grain of salt. But he said he's 100% good to go and he's ready to roll. And interestingly, the Pelicans are 29 and 26 with him in this season, and they're 7 and 20 without him. So I think that even shows how important he is to the team, maybe even more so than McCollum is.
I did a little skewed, over the little first half of the season. Sure. Okay, yeah. But yes, he matters, obviously.
He matters huge.
Yeah.
He is the playmaker. He sets up the offense for him. Okay, so with that said, I like his assist prop for Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his point prop's live too. I mean, it's less than McCollum's. We've seen this guy get hot, man. But yeah, he can get very cold too. And then his free throws, man. Talk about a guy who gets to the free throw line a lot with his mid-range game. 6.5. I mean, Spurs don't really foul that much. They're pretty disciplined because of Pop, unless you got guys like Zach Collins in there who foul like crazy. So that'd be more fringe, just because of the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so I would say assists and then points for him, and then
that's for Ingram.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you wanted to pair it, you could pair
Paulie want a cracker
with McCollum's points.
I'm trying to get you off the rails, bro.
Why?
You said if you want to pair it. I said Paulie want a cracker. Anyway. All right, that was dumb.
You with those puns, man. I love it.
All right, so I put assist. So I mean, just to back up the assist line though, I meant that he has a 31% assist rate when on the court with McCollum and J-Val. So he has, he can pick and pop, and then he could also maybe help set up a moving screen on Herbert Jones to open up McCollum here. So I do like the thought of ranking Ingram assists first with you, and I think 5.5 is attackable. So I just wanted to say that I agree with Ingram assist.
So you would say you would agree that you would like that more than his 24.5 real point?
If we had to start ranking them, yes. Just because 5.5 is beatable, right? I think.
I agree. Yeah.
But I don't dislike his point prop.
Yeah, it's Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could consider fantasy as a third rank for him too, if he's gonna fill the stat line.
40. I have him at 42, so it's a slight over, but yes.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, if these guys play 43 minutes, I'm not surprised in a competitive game. This game, by the way, has a 5.5 point spread, so it's not implied to get super leany. And the Spurs, without Murray, have been part of some dog fights and some stunners, so they got a little fight to them.
Yeah. Well, they have been blown out with Murray against the same Pelicans team. We've seen that by 40 points. So it's not out of the range of outcomes.
Okay.
But I mean, McCollum. I mean, he's always live for his real points in the playoffs. I mean, he's like, if you want to go back to that same kind of narrative and game scripting that we did yesterday, he's the vet on the team, right? So he leads the team in the amount of playoff games played. I think he's played around around 50 started and 57 total. So he's going to carry the team in terms of experience and leadership. So
Josh,
is 25.5 points could be in play.
Josh, we liked DeJounte Murray free throws, right?
Yeah.
I know you said that the Spurs don't foul a lot, but 2.5 free throws for McCollum. The amount of usage and ball handling and 20 plus shots. Is there any way McCollum goes out there and lands. And not only for, think about this, not only for just straight up gameplay fouls, but what about it's the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Who started Hack-a-Shaq? You know what I mean? Like, what if it's the fourth quarter, the Spurs are down, and they just got a foul to get possessions back? I think McCollum's the guy you want to pass it to. Yeah. Could we sweat 2.5 free throws for C.J. McCollum? Would you want to get behind that? Because I think that's really light.
I'm with you. I agree. I've actually targeted this in the past in the season. It's been available. The same line, 2.5, and it's come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, he's gonna handle the ball a lot, and the amount of minutes is gonna be like pushing 40, 43, 45.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And like I said, if you check out every in-game play out of the mix and just looked at the final 4 or 5 minutes of the game, right? Especially the final 2. If the Spurs end up in the bonus for whatever reason, even though on the season they haven't fouled much, he might just voluntarily clear that if Popovich is trying to get possessions back. So that just seems really light for those minutes.
Special?
Yeah, I'll put my name on that.
All
right. So I don't know that we're gonna put that number 1, but I just think that's a really light problem. All right.
I like it.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, what about J-Val? What do you have him projected for?
I have Jonas Valanciunas projected for 40 fantasy points on 30 minutes. Like I said, I'm willing to come up on that projection. Okay. Now, he's one of those guys I'm a little bit more skittish about doing so, but we have seen him play minutes to start the season, right? There was a couple games where he was playing 35+, and he's just an animal when he's out there. But I'm sitting at a 40 fantasy point projection, which is a slight over at the 38. What would stop that from happening? Well, I guess first of all, the fact that he's 4th in the league in fouls per 36, that could be a problem. But I do like it.
It's just seems low for this matchup and the amount of minutes. I mean, he's very important for the team. Obviously, he's part of the big 3. So, yeah, the fouls scare me. But that's just nature of the beast with centers. What's his fantasy points per minute with both Ingram and McCollum on the court?
Yeah, I do. It's 1.12 for PrizePicks scoring, about 200 minutes of sample size since the All-Star break.
Okay.
So basically, if you just point per 38, 30, 35. So I guess that's right on the nose. That's probably what the projection is actually spitting out. So you pick up an extra point every 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he just bullied Pirtle and Collins all season long when they played each other. They had no answer for him. So I do like him.
It just comes down to the minute projection.
It does.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a close game, and he's not in huge foul trouble, I just don't see why they wouldn't run him.
Okay. I'm with you on wanting to like it. Maybe we fringy it up. Maybe I don't know. Can we isolate first half and feel better? Let's go look at a couple of rotations for
because of foul trouble.
Maybe foul trouble. Just maybe saving him. Like I don't know if he has some random third quarter rest policy. I'm just gonna look at the last couple of games for him. That last game was complete punch up. Oh, you know what? I gotta get to the most recent. So we'll look at the Warriors game. What does minute rotation look like? That's not a real game that it happened. J-Val, that's also not a real game. Pelicans, Jesus, dude, they played so many trash ball games at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We can't look at that. What's the last competitive game that the Pelicans have played that mattered for either team? Here we go. Pelicans and Lakers on April 1st. I believe that game mattered. So J-Val played 37 minutes that game. McCollum and Ingram also played that game. They also had Larry Nance. So I mean that's hopeful, right? That makes you feel good about J-Val getting more than 30 minutes. to 35. If we got to 35 minutes, he would smoke this projection. So he also had 5 fouls in that game, and that was a game where Westbrook and LeBron played. So that makes me feel better. Last competitive game, J-Val saw 37 minutes in a game that mattered. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I was thinking, and predicting that would happen. Because I think like Larry Nance mainly hurts
Jackson
Hayes.
Yeah. To validate that, Nance played opposite J-Val in some spots, but he also played it with him. In the fourth quarter, but he only got 15 minutes that game, so I don't know that he's a big part of their plans anyway. But it looks like this rotation here, where the backups got like 14, 15 minutes total, and they went heavy with the first. This could be a really this could be what we might expect tonight. Are you seeing the April 1st game? Like, this possibly is the dress rehearsal in terms of projecting the rotation tonight. Because this game did matter. Both at the time, the Lakers and the Pelicans were both playing for play-in seeding, and Jackson Hayes lost out on the fourth quarter.
Was he in foul trouble?
No. Who took that fourth quarter from him? They just kind of split it up between Alvarado, Murphy, and Najee Marshall. So I don't know what the context behind that is, but I do know that they were really light with the second unit, and they were really aggressive minute-wise with the first unit. So this gives me hope in not only expanding on my minute projection for J-Val, but even McCollum. McCollum 40 minutes. Brandon Ingram probably gets more minutes than 34 here. So 40 minutes. 40 minutes McCollum. 30. Even I think at 35 minutes for J-Val, it smokes 40. So that makes me feel better about J-Val. Just stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah. That's kind of why I was like, when I first saw the 38 fantasy point, when I first opened the board for him, I was like, man, if he gets his full run like he should, he should clear that, right? I mean, this matchup is prime for him. But yeah, I mean, there's no tomorrow after this game. If you lose, your season's over. So I don't see why him and McCollum would not play a full run and especially McCollum not get 40 plus minutes. Ingram now, if the hamstring is an issue, maybe he plays less than 40 minutes. But if he's 100% healthy, he should. Why wouldn't he play 40 plus minutes too?
Okay, yeah. So all or nothing bet. All right, I felt a whole lot better about J-Val's fantasy points now. Okay, I'm glad we did it. Okay, this is like the most intense 2-game breakdown I've ever done in my life.
No, that was sharp by you to find this game, because now going back and looking at the chart, I remember I watched this game and it was like a playoff like game. It was intense, man. It was like down to the wire, and I think that's a really sharp call by you. Like this fourth quarter is what I expect too with the playoffs. So
yeah. Also in that game, your boy Herbert Jones played 36 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, he was trying on LeBron, man.
Is there any merit in grabbing Herbert Jones 22 fantasy points if we put 36? I already have him on the over there. Might be some peripherals.
It just depends on if he gets the stocks like he does. But it also depends on his three ball. So he's been taking a lot more threes recently, because he's just left wide open those other guys out there. So yeah, if his three ball's falling, he's getting better on offense though, attacking the basket. So
yeah,
I mean he's gonna have his hands full chasing DeJounte around. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then let's rank the other ones here. Yeah. I just put J-Val fantasy points. I guess if we're gonna elongate his minutes, you can get into anything. But I think the fantasy points is really, really strong here. Also, let's rank our McCollum and our Brandon Ingram. So I jotted down McCollum free throws, but I don't think that's gonna be number one, unless you want it to be.
Because I mean, it's so hard to decide with him, like, because of the Brandon Ingram effect, that maybe, I mean, if you had a good read on it, feel on it, I'm down with it.
It's just it's 4 free throws, right? Like it just seems really, really light. And if we paint a positive game script, but yeah, he doesn't get to the free throw stripe, so I don't.
Interesting. So they're now adding steals and blocks to the board. They added a double to the board. and then McCollum at 1.5 steal block. He's been really active defensively.
Okay. And we've
But
had
these are low props that you want to chase instead of these high props.
Yeah, I have McCollum. Let's see, prop. These are just like low numbers. I have I don't have steals coded into the prop sheet here. McCollum does average over a steal per game. He averages 1.6 steals and blocks per game, and then if we push that 33-minute projection to like 40, which we should, and we know DeJounte Murray can turn the ball over. That's interesting. So I don't want to catch us like speculating this live. They have Devontae Graham at 0.5. That's my boy. But man, he might get 12 minutes tonight, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Devontae though. All right, so let's hierarchy the McCollum.
So
McCollum.
you want to go free throw?
I don't think that should be number one. I
No?
don't. Do you? I didn't.
What's the gut, man? What's the gut?
Why doesn't he draw more fouls? Get to the rack.
Yeah, he just takes those fadeaway jumpers. But it just takes one foul at the 3-point line, and he gets 3 free throws.
Exactly.
He'll make them too.
So I think fantasy points for McCollum. Fantasy. Yeah.
I don't have a good read on McCollum today, so I'm gonna let you
All right.
lead the way on his ranking.
Well, I just like the fact that he played 40 minutes.
Oh yeah,
And
I
it's
think
probably-
he plays 43, 44 today.
Yeah, and I know maybe if Jay Rich started, we feel a little bit more hesitant, or maybe target like a first half under or something like that. But I'll do fantasy. I'll do free throw. That's it for that. For me,
Okay.
And is 25.5 real playing something that you want to target?
No, I think fantasy makes sense because just the minutes, and the points he might not get there because of Ingram.
Yeah.
Hogging the ball.
All right, so then I had Ingram assist points, then fantasy points, and then for JVal I just got fantasy points.
And then I would say maybe third would be more fringe, but free throws for Ingram.
Okay, that's fair. 6.5.
He's just so.
He's definitely more
so crafty
aggressive.
and good at it.
All right. Jackson Hayes, 19. I probably either want the under or no action there, and then to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned they added double doubles. Well, LaMelo Ball is one of them, but they have all of his tertiary props. Like other than points, like his assists is under 10, his rebounds is under 10. So if you bet the double double, you're pretty much expecting to get double digit assists. So don't bet his double double. Just bet his assists, right?
But he could. I mean,
he could, but his line's at 6. I don't know. Let's go to ODDSJAM and see if there's a double double prop. It's just no reason to do it if you think the likeliest outcome is from assists. So just take the assists. It's not like when they give us, the inverse. So those of you guys that are looking at the double-double prop, don't. Unless you want to bet the under on double-double, but the over on assists and try and middle in some weird planet. All right, player double-doubles. Looking at ODDSJAM. Shout out to ODDSJAM. Link in the description below. Get on ODDSJAM. Add this to your daily repertoire, your tool set. They have... Do they even have... They have LaMelo Ball at... the juice is on the under for him to not double. It's not massive, but it's pretty evenly split. So I guess that's why PrizePicks added him. Shout out to PrizePicks for adding for a couple different lines here. Chat, let me hear your calls, man. Who did we not touch on? What line did we not touch on that you guys are on today? Share it with the class, man. Don't hold out on the fire. So getting caught up on here. Mock Wall says Josh really is a scientist. He literally is a scientist. Like actually a neuroscientist in what's the college? I don't know. Stanford. Guys, that's ridiculous. That's not a gimmick, bro. That's legit. Jamal Murray, doubtful for round 1 of the playoffs. Dang. Take the under LaMelo double-double. All right, what else we got here? Loving the Pirtle first half PRA of 12. That's what I'm looking for. Give us stuff that we are not. 12 PRA in the first half. That's a line that your favorite, he's cleared in 4 of the last 5 times. The one time he didn't, hey, the Denver Nuggets. And I believe that was the game DeJounte didn't play, by the way. So we talked about the pick and roll. Don't quote me, but DeJounte missed that Denver game, right? And then it was like surprise Trey Jones.
He's missed the last 5 games except the most recent one. Yeah.
Okay, so hey, that 12 PRA in the first half, that might be fun. If you guys want to sweat some first half. What do you think? Should I add that? First half. I mean, there's no reason to isolate him because
what's the reasoning? Is he getting more minutes in the first half?
No, it's just a light line that in the first half. There's not obviously the full game. We're on the full game props, but just stuff that is probably attackable.
Okay,
but it's not like there's any discount, right? 12.
I just want to warn.
You're actually paying a hook on tax there.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I want to warn, the crew and chat out there that with these first half props in the playoffs, you're gonna pay a tax on the first half, especially for like fantasy, and I assume for PRA too. And then on top of that, like you're cutting in half where you're gonna get so many minutes in production out of these guys, especially the stars, in a playoff game. Like, and then you have to worry about early foul trouble. Like, what if, like, especially for a center, like if Pirtle picks up 2 fouls early on, Pop will pull you right away.
Yeah.
I get it. You want a low number, so feel better to sweat, but just something to think about. I'm not trying to talk you off. If it's your gut call, like, trust it, obviously, but something to think about.
Hey, chat. I need a Brandon Nimmo, Lindor. I need both of those guys to homer. Early sweat going on. Keep me updated if anybody's watching that game. Yeah, I'm crushing it, bro. Baseball is my jam, bro.
Oh, I know. I never doubt.
Shot like Harden says, Gun, if you took the Yankees beanie off, you would get way more subs guaranteed. Now wait a minute. We gotta stay loyal to the soil. You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm not gonna turn on my squad. It just ain't gonna happen. If I'm not gonna do it. What else we got in chat here? Double-double's a trap. Sometimes, Trill. There are scenarios where you'll get, like, Vucevic at 10.5 rebounds and, like, 16.5 points, but then they have a double-double line. In that case, we'll take the over because it's the better value, at least on what's available on the board. But in this case, it's dumb to take the double-double if you think the likely output is assists on LaMelo. Young Slime, appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel. Kiefer says, Larry Nance Jr. What are your thoughts? All caps for DFS.
What do we think?
I think that was a DFS question. For DFS, he's really doggone cheap if he's going to get a little bit of minutes here. But looking back at that Lakers game, he's probably not going to get a ton of minutes here. But if Jackson Hayes is the odd man out, and if Herbert Jones get into a little bit of foul trouble, I can see a guy like Larry Nance picking up a little bit of slack here. But for DFS, he's cheap. So, sure. From the first 2 games, ball handlers and ISO scorers are exceeding their props. Yeah, but we want to be responsible with that one. There's definitely a lot of ISO scorers that we saw. KD and Kyrie are a little different.
The most prolific scorers ever, like in NBA history.
But I get what you're saying, Josh. You let your vets kind of handle it. Mm-hmm. Like I was watching the game yesterday, and I was like, all right, there was like seconds left in the Clippers game, and you might remember the possession. It was like the second to last possession for the Clippers, and I told him, it's like they have to give the ball. I was telling Danny, Paul George and nobody else touches this basketball right now. And he dribbled it up court and just chucked it from like dang near the logo. He splashed it too, but there was no passing. Like those type of guys, absolutely, that's what they're there for, is to do it all. Pop's going to run a much tighter rotation. I think so too, Josh. Eric says, I'm really liking Hunter Fantasy 23+, Vassell points 13+, or PRA 19.5. I can get behind that. DeAndre Hunter, fantasy-wise, I had him at 26 and at 0.8, so I'm slightly on the over. So I don't disagree with that. We can see Herbert Jones over 2.5 steals and blocks. Man, that would be a sweat. I don't know if I want to bet that.
Wait. They have a Herbert Jones steal block?
I think he said we could be seeing that. We don't
if we
have
got that.
that.
I mean, that's live.
Yeah, we don't have
He
it. Though.
leads the league in deflections and steals. So total like combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cowboys Nation says, man, Reggie sold me with that turnover. Reggie sold a lot of people. Nemo Hermit earlier. Yeah, that's why I need him to do it again because he's, he got to the top line. Him and Lindor. And then I guess my second top line has Dom Smith. So, I don't know. What up, Parker? What do y'all like from the Hornets Hawks game? Bro, we can't go all the way backwards, but
LaMelo and Trey.
yeah, we'll go over the list here. I did say you guys get to 70 likes. We'll do the
you guys crushed it.
yeah, 85. Appreciate that. So join the free Discord. Links in the description below. And we will share the prop detector when it's all tight. And it shouldn't take that long, right? It shouldn't be like a normal slate where it's like moments before the lock waiting on news. We're pretty much, we know where we're at. So if you're in the free Discord, links in the description below. Let me pull up Discord here. It's this one right here. Jump in. I guess we'll put it in the PrizePicks and props channel, but maybe Josh, we put it in like the announcements channel as well, just so it doesn't get lost in the scroll.
Okay. So just put an announcement. Do like at here. Everyone.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But hey, man, shout out to everyone that has joined the free Discord while we've been live today. Main 2000, TMF, Cam, Taylor, Jason Robinson, Carter, Cosby, and Jason, I think you're a channel member. If you are a member of the YouTube channel, as a paid member, make sure to link your account. We actually have member-only chat as well. And as the channel develops and the community grows, we'll add more and more incentives. Yesterday, I think I dropped some of my favorite PrizePicks baseball bets in there. Yeah, I did. And then, like bomb detector, stuff like that. So it's a little something to show some love. It's not everything behind the paywall at Run DFS, but it meets you in the middle. So go be part of that. And that's it. So, Josh, in my notes, we'll compare notes and we'll get out of here.
Yep.
I've got DeJounte Murray fantasy, DeJounte Murray free throws, then rebounds, then assists. Then I got Jakob Poeltl fantasy, then points, then rebounds. And then I put down first FPRA, but we don't have to sweat that. But I do like it. Brandon Ingram assist, Brandon Ingram points, Ingram fantasy points. I'm in chat. I'm reading this in order of how much we like it from most to least, obviously. Then I got McCollum fantasy, McCollum free throws. Then I only put J-Val fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's from the last game. And then from the early game, Trae Young in order of confidence. Assist 1, fantasy 2, points 3, rebounds 4. Then I got Capello fantasy 1. Capello first half points PRA, but it's extremely taxed. So if you're going to get action on Capello's first half, you're basically saying that you expect him to get lose some minutes in the fourth quarter. And I will say in the last game, he did not lose minutes in the fourth quarter against them. So something to keep an eye on. And then on the other side, I got LaMelo Ball fantasy, LaMelo Ball assist, and then I put down Mason Plumlee points. It's really low. It's really low.
All right. It's pending. Let me go back and watch the game film.
Okay.
But if it looks legit, then I'll add it to the prop detector.
All right. Chat, you guys can get to 100 likes real quick, can't you? That would be special. A little 2-hour breakdown. What are we? Like, what? Who does that? So
What does love come to?
so hit that thumbs up. If you're not subbed to the channel, hit that sub button. Appreciate that, Michael Lane. What are we thinking? What's the next content piece for us? So let's look at the schedule. Saturday, I know there's some games. We're gonna have that Embiid stuff.
So Thursday we have to play. We have 2 games: the play-in loser game.
Right. Okay. Are we? That's just one game, right?
2.
So 2 games on Thursday.
Yeah, it's the loser. The loser
okay.
of these 2 games plays the loser of the last yesterday's game.
So that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I guess we're streaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you doing a first look video tomorrow?
Yeah, because we'll know the matchup. Yeah, and then
Saturday's 4 games.
Yeah, so you want to break that down Friday?
Yeah, I was going to say, because I got baseball Saturday, and I think that's early. So my schedule's going to be pretty tight. Friday night breakdown of the 4-gamer?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I might be wrong.
No, I'm looking at 4 games on Saturday. Or you mean wrong about tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I think I might be wrong about tomorrow. I think I was off a day. It's Friday is the 2-game
Okay.
playing game losers.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I was wrong. So Friday actually, if we have enough time, we could knock out those 2 games and knock out the weekend Saturday game.
We could.
Saturday.
All right.
That would be 6 total games.
Yeah. Let's talk off the air about that one. But the
Yeah.
next tangible piece that the users can come back for, the viewers, is probably Friday morning.
Yeah.
We'll have a first look, and then we'll have a
Yep.
stream Friday. All right, cool. So, chat, we'll see you guys on Friday. But we'll also be in the free Discord all night, live sweating it. Josh was part of that yesterday. It's playoff basketball. It's a beautiful time. And we're at just about 100 likes. So, man, I did not expect this from a 2-game basketball slate. But playoffs, basketball is life. So, appreciate that, guys. I'm headed to the RunDFS.com premium Discord. I'll be in voice chat if you want to chop it up with me. You can do that by going to RunDFS.com, clicking VIP memberships. And, hey, shout out to the sponsor, ODDSJAM. We couldn't do it without them. Get on ODDSJAM. Link in the description below. Great way to find value, man. You guys are the best. I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. Tell somebody you love them because I love you. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money. Did Nemo homer? Probably not, right? Could never be that lucky. Nah, but I still got a couple of at-bats here. Yeah, I'll get the top of the ninth. We'll see.
So, you're gonna be in MLB chat?
Yeah, MLB voice chat, and then I'll knock out all my player pools and stuff like that.
Okay, and then I will update the detector, and then I'll posted in the free Discord.
Sounds good.
Alright, cool.
All right, man. Catch you later.